In the last week or so, I've spent a lot of time working with Stronger Co. and thinking through what are the needs of our clients. And so I've spent a lot of time with you on my mind. If you're a survivor of adultery, abuse, or abandonment, I spent a lot of time this week pondering, what it is that you're facing and what it is that you're dealing with. And in my interactions with our clients, of course, I'm seeing it every day. And I think one thing that's a little bit unique about survivors of adultery, abuse, and abandonment in marriage is that it's often a very silent or hidden struggle that they're facing. Maybe you're at the beginning and maybe you just found out what's been going on. Maybe you're dealing with abuse. Maybe nobody else knows yet. Maybe and you're divorced and you're down the road and now you're dealing with co-parenting and post-separation abuse and all that comes with that. There's just a lot there that a lot of people don't necessarily see. The struggle of being a single parent and doing that all by yourself. The struggle of trying to do what's right in a really difficult situation. I have the privilege of being in that struggle with my clients and knowing where their heart is and what they're facing and watching them wrestle and struggle and pray and desire to do what's right by God and to desire to do what's right by their children. These people are spending countless hours and countless tears and working towards doing what's right. And most of the time, if there's adultery, abuse, or abandonment, there's lies being told about them as well. Because if you're an abuser, you're lying, right? That's a behavior that's getting covered up, that's hidden. You're pretending you're one person out to the world, and then you're being a different person at home to the person who you're abusing. Anyone who's having an affair is in a pattern of lying, typically not just to their spouse, but to lots of people. It's usually a hidden and covered up thing that nobody knows about. And with abandonment, it's the same. Those people are telling themselves a story to justify their choice to abandon their spouse, and it's not a true story. And so any time that you're dealing with adultery, abuse, or abandonment, you're dealing with lies and someone who is capable of telling lies. And oftentimes, as a survivor, your character is maligned. The true story isn't told, or most people don't know the full truth of what's going on. And these survivors are in this struggle of trying to do what's right, knowing most people don't know what's really going on and don't know what their heart is and how they're trying to do the right thing. They don't see the struggles. They don't see what they're facing as a traumatized person and trying to pull themselves back together. They're grieving the loss of so many things. They're parenting kids who are traumatized. And having to face decisions, really, really big, hard decisions all on their own, meanwhile facing a lot of judgment. And it can be really, really lonely. And this is, as I've been thinking through this week, the name for God that's in the Bible kept coming to mind, the God who sees. And it just kept coming into my mind. And I wanted to share this with you, survivors, that, we serve a God who is the God who sees. And I think being seen is really important, especially in this struggle. And it's something that you might not feel like anybody sees what's going on. So I went to look this up because I couldn't remember which scripture reference it was and what the story was. And it's Hagar. And it's in Genesis 16. And I just, Hagar, someone who's been cheated, someone who's been abused, someone who's been forced to have a child with someone. She's a slave to begin with. Just talk about abused, abandoned, mistreated, and just left for nothing. The parallels just blew my mind as I was thinking it through. So I wanted to just read just a little part there. It's Genesis 11. And this is God talking to Hagar when she became pregnant and she tried to run away for a little while. The angel of the Lord said to her, "You have conceived and will have a son. You will name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard your cry of affliction. This man will be wild like a donkey. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him. He will settle near all of his relatives. So she named the Lord who spoke to her, "You are El Roy," for she said, "In this place have I actually seen the one who sees me." And I love that because you have a God who sees you. He sees what you're going through. He sees the struggles. He knows your heart, and it matters. All that you're doing and all that you're working on and all that you're working towards, even if no one else sees it, God sees it, and he knows, and he's a just God, and he will make all things right one day. And he sees you, and he loves you, and he cares about what you're going through, even if no one else does. So I hope that encourages you today.